Okay, so when I say that my brand started from really humble beginnings, it really did. I was a detention officer with Humberside Police, and John, my husband, was a police officer with Humberside Police. We have 5 children, and we had a pretty simple life. We paid the bills, we sorted things out, we muddled along like most people do. We got married in 2010, which is when ClaireaBella was born that year as well. It was quite a dynamic year for me. The idea for ClaireaBella came from a caricature drawing that me and John had done in Paris. The way it captured my eyes was really pretty. He'd done them quite almond shaped with really big eyelashes. And it's been on our wall ever since, and I always said to John I would love that drawing of me to be on something that's with me all the time, because it just always made me smile, because it reminded me of a happy time when we were in Paris on holiday, when we were dating. So it gave me the idea, really, those eyes gave me the idea to create ClaireaBella. The caricature, which I'm sure you've all seen, and if not I'll try and tag it in on this video, is a very difficult drawing. It's done by an experienced artist. Although I've been very creative throughout my life, I'm not academic, I'm very creative, very arty, and I strive in creating things and not so much maths and English and things like that. So I drew a character around those eyes, so that became ClaireaBella. So it's a simplified character around the eyes that were based on me. So ClaireaBella was based on myself, or how I wish that I could look, but having 5 children, a job and everything else, it was never feasible for me to have the big hair and the big eyelashes most of the time, ponytail, school run, running around like we all do. Basically in 2010 she was born. I created the bag based on the caricature and took it into work, into the police. My colleague Susie, who was one of my best friends as well, whisked me down to the staff canteen and said, look what Claire's made, isn't it fantastic, and it's brilliant. And I literally got my first 2 orders from that point, and I had nothing, no money in my bank account at all to be able to buy any paint or bags to be able to fulfil the orders that I had. So I had to ring my mum, as children do. No matter what age we get to, we're always kids, we're always our mother's babies. I rang her and said, can you please lend me £30, mum, and this is happening and I'm doing this. And she was, right, okay. So she lent me the money, and that enabled me to go out and buy little pots of paint that were no bigger than like a nail varnish size, and some blank bags. I completed the orders, and literally the other orders filtered through from there. So what I had was a money box that you have to smash to physically get into, and every little bit of money that I made went into it. And the aim was at the time, okay, this is something that I'm doing for us as a family, and hopefully it'll get us the deposit for a holiday abroad, 7 of us, it's quite expensive. So time went on like that. I canvassed the streets of Hull and surrounding areas, asking shops to take in my bags and to take orders for me, with them taking a percentage. I went onto Twitter, I started social media and reaching out to people that potentially hadn't had the ability to see the brand because they're not in my circle of friends and work friends and family. And it was just doing really well from Twitter. John had built me the website, and we were getting orders coming in very slowly, but we were getting orders. Chloe Sims then from The Only Way Is Essex caught glimpses of the bags, and I gifted her with a bag. It then just snowballed to the point where they were in Marbella with them, they were on the series 2 of The Only Way Is Essex with the bag. The whole cast requested one, I gifted the cast. They were just everywhere, and it just literally skyrocketed to the point where the orders from the website, we had to put everything nil stock, because at one point I was sat with 200 plus orders on my desk, and I was working a 26-hour week within the police, and I had 5 children and 5 dogs to look after. So I was literally working all day, working all night, grabbing a few hours sleep, getting up and repeat Groundhog Day. And it was hard work, and it was a struggle, because being a mother and somebody that worked a lot of hours, and the job that I had was, you know, it was a dangerous, stressful job, so I had to be on my toes. I couldn't afford to go in tired, because that could be the end of me, you know, depending who we got in through custody. I had to be on my toes. yeah, things were going really well, but very fast. And of course, I've not got any business background, no business training. So when you're registering to be a sole trader and for tax purposes and national insurance and things like that, it was mind-boggling for me. I've not got that experience. Then in July time of the year after, we spoke to Toxic Fox and said, would you be interested in collaborating on a range of hoodies? After a lot of discussion and throwing ideas around, we came up with the hoodies. I'll never forget that they was going live midnight, I think, that night, with a view to when everybody got up the next day, they'd say, oh, the hoodies have gone on. But literally, even though we were silent about the fact the hoodies were selling from midnight that night before, it was just a phenomenal response. Obviously, since then, the birth of the classic bags, which is artists that I've trained through Toxic Fox, they've come around, and the brand's grown to strengths that I never thought it would or could, but it has. And I've still got that money box. I never did smash it. I never could bring myself to do it. But I suppose it goes to show that from very humble beginnings, from just trying to scrape together a little bit of money to take our children on holiday, we've created a brand that is just, it's got 2 TV adverts. I've won 3 awards since the brand started. To think that I'd have ever won a business award of any calibre would have just been completely and utterly, no, that's never going to happen. But it did, and ClaireaBella is something that I'm so proud of, and it's created its own family. I've got friends and followers on Twitter that have made friends, best friends. It's a circle and it grows every day, and it came from such humble beginnings. And people often ask, did I pay my mum back the £30? Well, I did, yeah, and I gave her a bag as well. So it just shows you, if you aim for the stars, you know, just keep going, because one day you'll be amongst them even if you don't quite get there. See you soon.